Item 7, I need a little help here. This is for our performance evaluation of our general manager, and we've all been given these forms, and we're going to turn those in, I understand, to me, I guess. And then we're going to give them to Mary to go into Kevin's file. But what is our action?
We're going to discuss it, or?
What do we do?
Oh, well, we're certainly free to discuss the evaluation to the extent the board desires to. I guess just one minor clarification to make the evaluation form that the board members may or may not have used, depending on their personal preferences for this evaluation, was approved at the prior meeting of the board as a guideline form. So with that, I guess it's not mandatory that the board members use it. And the form that was approved indicated that it would be signed by the chairperson of the board. I think it's more appropriate that whoever completed the form sign it, as opposed to having the chairperson sign everybody's form when he may have had no input on the form. So that's my understanding, is that if the board members desired to use that form and used it out, that each of you will sign your individual file.
Are these going into his personnel file? They're not in public?
Yeah, they'll go into his personnel file.
Okay, so what should our motion be here?
Oh, well, I guess that's up to the will of the board. As far as there's any number of options as far as whether the board desires to retain Mr. Brown's services or terminate them, suspend them, pay increase, reductions in pay. I mean, there's kind of the board's will as far as what you intend to do.
What's it been, 7 months? How long have you worked
6
here?
months,
6
almost to
months?
the day.
Yeah.
It's a little rough to have an evaluation done with 6 months, isn't it?
Right?
I appreciate the job you're doing, Kevin. There's a lot of these questions on here, like the budget. I mean, we haven't even got to a budget yet, so, you know, that's why I felt like we had to have a category here to put not applicable, so. I hope the second 6 months is as good as the first. I appreciate what you're doing. I think, in talking with some of the employees and stuff, I think they appreciate the job you're doing and feel like the water district's headed in the right direction. So, having said that, here's my evaluation, and I appreciate the job you're doing. Keep it up.
I also feel that way, Mr. Brown. And, I don't feel that we could make a salary increase at this time, and I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that more budget time, but I think you've done a very good job, and we're thrilled that you're here.
Thank you.
Is there any other comments?
I echo the comments that have been made. I haven't heard any complaints from employees or public or anything else, which is always good. But you know, up to this point, pleased with the job that's been done. I am impressed that you've gone out and actually made sure that you talked to the employees and found out what the concerns of the infrastructure and working towards getting all those things taken care of. Having some kind of a priority list to get that done. It's been talked about and talked about and talked about and never put down in any real order of how we're going to do it and where we're going to go from there. You know that, so just keep going in the same direction. I think we're going to be way ahead down the road here in a few years. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
And I agree. I think you've stepped in and you've taken sort of the steer by the words and move forward and getting involved and resolving issues as they're coming to you. You're not sidestepping them or shoving them off or saying that, oh, this wasn't my fault type of situation. It has only been 6 months. It is hard to follow this form, although there's a lot of good things on here. I've marked them best I can and made a few comments. I'm looking forward to your next year of work, and I think you've done a good job so far, and hope you continue to progress as you have.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
I appreciate you keeping the board informed as well as the public. As things happen, so that we're not finding it later or not knowing or having to catch up. Because it's always gonna be a catch-up system
Yeah,
with
I don't want to
infrastructure.
get blindsided.
Right, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, maybe we could get Mrs. Brown up here to say something bad about you, because there hasn't been any bad things said about you.
Ms. Ellis, Dan?
I would like to suggest to the board that traditionally, the general manager's evaluation has always been in January and February. And we're coming up on a very different situation than we've ever had before in this water district for next year. Because at least 2 of you are not going to be on the board next year. We know Kenyon and Craig are not going to be on the board next year. We don't know about the others. But if you keep this same time frame for January, February, it is possible you're going to have an evaluation given to the general manager by 5 people who have about a month's experience with that general manager. So I would like you to entertain the possibility of having his next evaluation in December, just before a major change takes place with the board of directors, so that the incoming board, whoever it is, will not have to have the burden of evaluating a person for 30 days. I would just throw that out there and ask you to look ahead to the next year.
That's a good point.
Pretty
Barbara.
smart, Barb.
I know we want, is that something we could ask to be put on the next agenda to
I think
discuss
Mary's
changing
already
that?
got that.
I think,
Yeah, it's done.
I think we can
Yeah,
schedule
we know that
evaluation
this-
about any time we want to, just have to put on the.
Is it in our bylaws
I
where
think
it
the
says?
bylaws dictate, I think it's in the bylaws, so we'll have to maybe phrase it that way as far as reviewing that provision of the
We
bylaws.
look at that and see what we need to do.
At least do an exception to the bylaws for that one time and then revert back when the elected board has had at least a year's experience. I mean, I think this is a critical exception to the rule.
Maybe we could do it every month, Kevin seemed to do it.
It should never happen again. Dave?
Yeah, I agree with what Barb said, but the fact is that the new board could come in, because at-will employment could say, I'm sorry, you just got a good evaluation, but we don't want you anymore.
Well,
So
they can do that, but
I'm just saying, so I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I'm saying that it would be a guarantee of a job for another year would not be there.
his
Yeah, the
job
evaluation-
guarantee only lasts until the next meeting
right,
starts.
You work for yourself, Dave, you know what a job guarantee is.
As long as
You
they make
just
payroll.
about cash
Yeah,
your guarantee
yeah.
in.
I just want to make that kind of clear, that it wouldn't guarantee that another year's employment.
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah.
nothing guarantees that.
Those are nice, good information there. Are we ready or through?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we retain Kevin Brown as general manager at the current salary.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 4 in favor, motion carries.